Hush Hush is a romantic thriller about a girl who falls in love with a fallen angel who has a dark agenda to become human. And I'm going to read here from Chapter 1, I think this is, Chapter 2. And Patch and Nora have just been put together as partners in class, and their first assignment is to interview each other and then report back the following day to their teacher, what they've learned about the other person. And they spend all class arguing and fighting, and they don't get their assignment done. So it's the night before the assignment, and our straight A student Nora is trying to decide, if she's going to go chase Patch down and get this interview done, or if she's just going to fail. I took inventory of the feelings playing out inside me. I wasn't hungry, I wasn't tired, I wasn't even all that lonely, but I was a little bit restless about my biology assignment. I'd told Patch I wouldn't call, and 6 hours ago I'd meant it. All I could think now was that I didn't want to fail. Biology was my toughest subject. My grade tottered problematically between A and B. In my mind, that was the difference between a full and half scholarship in my future. I went to the kitchen and picked up the phone. I looked at what was left of the 7 numbers still tattooed on my hand. Secretly, I hoped Patch didn't answer my call. If he was unavailable or uncooperative on assignments, it was evidence I could use against him to convince Coach to undo the seating chart. Feeling hopeful, I keyed in his number. Patch answered on the 3rd ring. "What's up?" In a matter-of-fact tone, I said, "I'm calling to see if we can meet tonight. I know you said you're busy, but..." "Nora." Patch said my name like it was a punchline to a joke. "Thought you weren't going to call, ever." I hated that I was eating my words. I hated Patch for rubbing it in. I hated Coach and his deranged assignments. I opened my mouth, hoping something smart would come out. "Well, can we meet or not?" As it turns out, I can't. Can't or won't. I'm in the middle of a pool game. I heard the smile in his voice. An important pool game. From the background noise I heard on his end, I believed he was telling the truth about the pool game. Whether it was more important than my assignment was up for debate. "Where are you?" I asked. "Beau's Arcade. It's not your kind of hangout." "Then let's do the interview over the phone. I've got a list of questions right..." He hung up on me. I stared at the phone in disbelief, then ripped a clean sheet of paper from my notebook. I scribbled "jerk" on the first line. On the line beneath it, I added "smokes cigars, will die of lung cancer, hopefully soon, excellent physical shape." I immediately scribbled over that last observation until it was illegible. The microwave clock blinked to 9:05. As I saw it, I had 2 choices. Either I fabricated my interview with Patch, or I drove to Beau's Arcade. The first option might have been tempting if I could just block out Coach's voice warning that he'd check all answers for authenticity. I didn't know enough about Patch to bluff my way through a whole interview, and the second option, not even remotely tempting. I delayed making a decision long enough to call my mom. Part of our agreement for her working and traveling so much was that I act responsibly and not be the kind of daughter who required constant supervision. I liked my freedom, and I didn't want to do anything to give my mom a reason to take a pay cut and get a local job to keep an eye on me. On the 4th ring, her voicemail picked up. "It's me," I said, "just checking in. I've got some biology homework to finish up, then I'm going to bed. Call me at lunch tomorrow if you want. Love you." After I hung up, I found a quarter in the kitchen drawer. Best to leave complicated decisions to fate. "Heads I go," I told George Washington's profile. "Tails I stay." I flipped the quarter in the air, flattened it to the back of my palm, and dared a peek. My heart squeezed out an extra beat, and I told myself I wasn't sure what it meant. "It's out of my hands now," I said. Determined to get this over with as quickly as possible, I grabbed a map off the fridge, snagged my keys, and backed my Fiat Spider down the driveway. The car had probably been cute in 1979, but I wasn't wild about the chocolate brown paint, the rust spreading unchecked across the back fender, or the cracked white leather seat.